One way to avoid window strikes is to put the feeders close to the house. I have these feeders, I can look right outside my kitchen window, and they're within 6-7 feet of the house, and then one out there is a lot further than that, but not too close. So if those birds hit the window, it won't kill them, it won't even stun them. They usually just get up and fly away. This one here, this suet feeder, is right outside the window. So again, they can't get up enough speed to do much damage to themselves. And I also keep the shutters drawn, at least this much, and that seems to work too. Haven't hardly had any window strikes for years on these windows so close to the feeders. Here's another shot. You can see the rough distance between the feeders and the windows.
Here's another idea to help prevent birds hitting the windows. There's all kinds of these decals out there. I've seen them at Target. You can get them at Home Depot, I think. Of course, Amazon and other places. There's just an example. I've never actually tried them, but apparently they're supposed to be very low key decals that don't look too obvious on your windows, but the birds can see them. I've read varying reviews of these, but they're worth a try if you're having a problem with birds hitting the windows.
This is one of the best feeders to prevent squirrels from getting into stuff. The squirrel climbs onto this and shuts off the feeding port. I have them for quite a while, and it's pretty fun to watch the squirrels try to figure it out. They never did. Here's another common problem with feeding birds, one of these. This is our cat, Diego. He's looking very lazy and peaceful, but all cats, and I mean all cats outside, will kill birds. There are studies that show that cats alone are killing millions of birds every year. And it's just their nature, it's their instinct, they can't help it. Our cat is strictly indoor cat. But what do you do with neighbors' cats? Well, I found the best answer is get a dog. Some of you don't want to do that, but that's the best thing to keep cats out of your yard by far, is to have a dog. The other option, there are some good suggestions in this brochure from the American Bird Conservancy. I would check that out. I'd go to the back and look at that website, and they've got a lot of nice suggestions on how you can talk to your neighbors, what you can propose. I have never found much success with this, but my neighbors have all been, what are you talking about? Cats always live outside. And it's just ingrained in most Americans, sad to say. But you can try. They have some good options in this brochure. Here's another challenge to bird feeding. We artificially congregate birds together by putting on our bird feeders, which makes them easier prey for these guys. These small hawks, Cooper's hawk and sharp-shinned hawk, very common throughout the West, really throughout North America, as you can see. And here in Utah, pretty much everywhere. They're in suburban areas, they're in the mountains, and they are fighter pilots of the bird world. They come screaming out of nowhere and grab birds that may be feeding by your feeders. And even though they're actually really cool to watch, that can be somewhat sad to see them take out a chickadee or a lazuli bunting, or one of the birds we really like.
About the only thing we can do to give birds a chance against those smaller hawks is to put our feeders under trees, not out in the middle of the yard where there's no cover. I hang this feeder here very much on purpose so it's under a tree. It's harder for the hawks to zoom in without being seen, and the birds can immediately go for cover, especially once the leaves have filled out of this tree. But really, that's about all we can do, is make sure our feeders are placed also with good visibility. They can see in all directions, and that'll help their survival chances. Here's another example. This sunflower seed feeder I put by this spruce. Again, red-breasted nuthatches and chickadees come to this often, and they can escape into this large evergreen at a moment's notice.
Some other ways we can help the birds is what we buy. An example is coffee. With the incredible popularity of coffee over the last 25 years, a lot of places, especially in places like South America, Africa, the Caribbean, coffee plantations have just taken off like crazy, and a lot of forests have been decimated for coffee. But you can get what's called shade-grown coffee if you look around enough. This is an example in our area by a company called Cafe Ibis. They're one of the few I can find that do this. And you can see that they're certified bird friendly. It's not focusing here, but that one on the right means that this coffee is grown under shade trees. And some studies have shown that birds actually thrive even more in these coffee plantations that don't cut down all the trees. So if you can find this, highly recommend it. It's great coffee. It's all over Utah, up into Idaho. I'm not sure if it gets down to Arizona. Or you can Google the Smithsonian certified bird-friendly coffee. Again, if you can see that seal at the bottom on the right, and see, that should take you to a link to find any shops in your area that might carry this shade-grown coffee. But I haven't found there to be very many. You can also order it online. It's pretty pricey, but you can do that. Anyway, I encourage, if you can find it, to buy this coffee.